Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Rundown with the Cowboy Crab. I am the Cowboy Crab, and on today's episode of the Rundown, we're going over the regular season for Season 37 and playoff preview. This video was originally meant to come out yesterday, but very busy, did not get the time to film. Originally meant to do this after both play-in games have been done, so the playoffs were officially set, but unable to do so. So now we'll just do it with the wildcard games that have been played, the wildcard games that are scheduled to play, the ones that haven't been played, and you'll go on from there. You'll get my full-on bracket and who I have going to the Victory Bowl this season, and you'll hear my prediction for who I have winning it all this season. But before we get into all of that, we got to debrief this regular season. We'll do what we always do. We'll go over the OWC first, then we'll go to the OEC, and we'll do the same for what teams are left, what matchups are left, who I think is going to win those matchups, and you go on from there and you get the point. Anyways, let's get straight into it. We'll start with the teams that missed the playoffs in the Western Conference. We'll start with your Season 37 Tank Bowl champions, the winless Houston Toros. Houston, I didn't say this in my announcement for when I announced you as the Tank Bowl champions, but I'll say it on here. You went from back-to-back Victory Bowls and playoff contenders to the biggest doormat in the Western Conference. I mean, your point differential is negative 124. Rebuilding is not what you need to do. You need to blow everything up and start again. That might be what rebuilding is, but you got to go from the ground up. You got to go from the foundation of what that ground is on. Everything must go if you want to start being contenders again. And until then, I'll call you a doormat. Also, now you get to your first your two 1-5 teams, the Blue Steel City Vikings and the Chorus Spartans. Vikings, as an employee of the Twisters, all I'll say is you guys are winless against us, and your GFXs in franchise announcements mean nothing to me, since your two Victory Bowl wins, one was before we were a franchise, and one was our inaugural season. We own you. You have no wins over us. Now, probably age poorly next season, knowing how I'm able to do things. Anyways, you also got the Core Spartans, 1-5 Spartans. I'm just used to you being where you are. You've always seemed like you're the team that they have a chance to be a sneaky good team. They have a chance to be a sneaky dark horse, but they never are. Moving on to our only 2-4 team on the list, Dansville Ducks. Ducks, you're kind of the same, like, not sneaky dark horses, more so of you've always seemed like a team that can do well in their division. The Mountain Division, in my opinion, probably the weakest out of the three divisions. Most of the time, you got like one or two teams with a winning record. You got two with the 500 or below, and then you have a bottom feeder. This season, not so much. I mean, 2-4, and you're in last. I mean, it's not terrible, but 2-4 is definitely probably the worst record you could have, because it's like if we won one more game, we could have snuck in. That's kind of how it is in OFL when you get 2-4. It's like we just won one more game, we could have gotten it. And now you get to your one team that missed with a 500 record, the Justin Jackrabbits. Victory Bowl hangover hit you guys hard, and that's all you can really say about the Austin is the Victory Bowl hangover hit them like a truck. They didn't even make it to the playoffs to try and win back, and that was their only Victory Bowl appearance too, and it hit them hard. And so, Justin, all I can really say is good luck next season, and hopefully this was just a bad season for you, because yeah, Victory Bowl hangover. Moving on now to the play-in teams. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So here's what the play-in matchups looked like for anybody that didn't know. You had the Autorit City Bucks and the Roblox Warriors take on each other, and then the Olympia Sky Kings play the Oklahoma City Twisters. So, we'll start with the first matchup, which was Is actually, it was Sky Kings and Twisters, and as a member of the Twisters organization, I am. You know what? We were in a lot of turmoil this season. The fact we made it to the playoffs is a big enough accomplishment for me to hang my head over for this season, because this was the season of turmoil for the Twisters. But we got a victory bowl to host, and we made the playoffs in a season where expectations were constantly changing. So all we can really hope for is that we strike back next season. And as for your other team, the Alderite City Bucks, I will continue my tradition of bashing you for your team changing your name, because you have done nothing since. This might have been your best season since your name change, but you didn't even make a wild card round. You lost to the 10 seed Roblox Warriors. Warriors, I have a plan for you in the future. I have a plan. Will I do it? Hopefully. It's going to take a lot of people, though. But for now, you're safe. But just know, it's around the corner. It's coming. Eventually. And so that's it for the Western Conference. Your two teams sneaking from the playing games are the Olympia Sky Kings and Roblox Warriors. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, let's talk about the teams didn't make it. So your winless team out of the Eastern Conference is the Roblox Panthers. And Panthers, I don't have words for you. I mean, you're like, if it wasn't for you, I'd probably say the Gulf Division's the best division in the OFL, because everybody except you has a 500 or better record. The Firecats back-to-back are didn't mean to say that. They are Victory Bowl champions. The Bolts are 4-2. The Knights are 4-2. The Phoenix are 4-2. That division is tough. You are the team they all walk over. And until you prove that you are not the doormat to the Phoenix, Knights, Bolts, and Firecats, then you're probably not going to be seen any other way, because that is all you are. And that 0-6 record shows it. Number 14. So, next is Toronto Bears. Toronto? 2-10 in the last 2 seasons. Your only win last season was your last game to Rexshire. And that game pretty much determined who would have been your Tank Bowl champions for that season, and you didn't win it. You beat the Rattlers and got your only win. This season, same thing, except you didn't beat the Rattlers. But you just, once again, 1-5, and now you're Canada's second best team. Next, another 1-5 team, and oh boy, what happened here, guys? The Rockford Raptors can't go. I don't know if you watch these, but man, you might just have to blow everything up. Guys, I can't even remember if you guys have made it past the divisional round since I've been here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing a rebuild in Rockford for the next 1 to 2 seasons. Try and build something up and then try and go on a run, because this season shows that you can't. There's nothing left in the tank for that core. Something's got to change. Next up, Canton and Canton Greats. Your color scheme screams. Yeah, your color scheme screams Cleveland Browns. That's kind of how you've been playing for the past few seasons. Another 1-5 record. Yeah, I believe this. You've been getting I think it was season 35. You got Kelvin, and I don't even think you were able to do anything with him. Just I don't know what the piece they're missing is. It just seems like they're missing a bunch. And they can't put what they have together. That just seems to be the problem with Canton, I guess, and 1-5 record. After that, though, you got the Highland Huskies, 2-4, and Highlands, kind of the same thing. It's I feel like you've got pieces missing, and the pieces you have, not able to go together to get you to at least a playing game, and I mean, that's kind of just it, Highland. You just, most of these teams that like didn't make it, and it's like 2-4, 1-5, it's just like they're missing something, or in the case of Rockford, their core is done. They're cooked. They got to get replaced. Now, we got an interesting thing in the Eastern Conference. We had a 2-4 team make the play-ins, and that was the Core Block Snowhawks. Snowhawks, I don't know how you snuck into the playoffs. Factor of scheduling, I guess. I mean, 2-4 team gets the 10 seed. It's something. But, yeah, as for your play-in teams, though, you had the Miami Bolts, Florida Firecats, Newark Destroyers, and Core Block Snowhawks. So the Bolts, no surprising, beating the Bolts beat the Snowhawks. Not really surprising anybody on that. And then you had the Firecats beat the Destroyers, so that puts both Florida teams into the playoffs. Your 7 and 8 seeds for the Eastern Conference go to the playoffs. Now, we do got 2 wildcard games that have already happened. The Red Cliff Raiders beat the Olympia Sky Kings 80-64, and the Pemberley Punishers beat the Philadelphia Freedom 35-28. That was a pretty close game right there. And Freedom, I'll give you credit where credit is due. That was a close game, at least looking at the scoreboard. And all you can really say is that you put up a good fight against the best team in the Eastern Conference, and maybe next season you'll be able to get a little further in the wild card round. Now, as for your matchups that are currently left, let's talk about them. So, here's where we'll go. The Jackson Sunbirds will play the Roblox Warriors. That is an interesting matchup for one reason only. Last time these two teams played in the playoffs was season 33. If my memory serves me correct. It was a wild card round. Saxton, they were the number 1 seed, and by far our Victory Bowl favorites to come out of the Western Conference. The Warriors, 8 seed, lowest seed at the time, and did not have a lot of expectations. This was also my first playoff game to ever stream. It was a memorable one. The Roblox Warriors was the biggest upset of the wild card round, if memory serves correct. Beat the Saxon Sunbirds at home to move on to the second round. Does lightning strike twice, is my question to you. Do you believe lightning strikes twice? I believe it's possible. It is very likely the Warriors could upset the Sunbirds again. The Sunbirds, they have not lost a regular season game in the past 2 seasons. We are not in the regular season anymore. We are in the postseason. Let me just quickly look at something here. You remember how the Sunbirds did last playoffs. So, for the Sunbirds' last playoffs, they're the number 1 seed. The number 1 seed for the Sunbirds seems like a curse. Season 36, number 1 seed. They lose to the Milliken Rams 22-30. And go look at season 35. I don't think they were number 1 seed that season, but I could be wrong. No, they were number 5 seed and snuck away with a wild card win over Vikings. They didn't make it past the second round. So, and season 35, I mean, they were the 9 seed and had made it to the divisional round and lost by 1 point. Oh, correction, this is season 34. In season 34, they'd snuck away to the divisional round at the 9 seed and lost by 1. But all I'm really saying is, Saxton, anytime you're the 1 seed, you go out in the first round. Season 33 is my big talking point. That was when you lost to the Warriors. Next time you get the 1 seed, you lost to the Rams. You win the 1 seed again. Do you do it again? Do you lose in round 1 again? Well, do you lose in the wild card round? That's what I meant. That's question. Now, I'm just trying to find it. It said season 33. No, it might have been season 32 I'm thinking of. Just trying to find it in the scores. Yeah, okay. Season 32 was their 37-33 slip-up, so I've been saying it wrong. 32. Yeah, they lost 37-33 to the Warriors. Do they do it again? Maybe. But we still got other games to talk about. I think I've spent enough time on the Sunbirds. Let's move on. Berkshire Rattlers who drafted the Milliken Rams. Now, this is an interesting matchup, to say the least. Rattlers, this is their first season I can think of where they've came out of nowhere, really, and just came straight into the playoffs. I mean, they got the number 2 seed. They only finished behind the number 1 seed Sunbirds because they lost a game. The Sunbirds are undefeated. And, I mean, to be fair, they are taking on a pretty tough opponent, the Rams. But we'll just see how that game goes. It's not my predictions part yet. We're just going over wildcard games. Dreads and Dragons will play Miami Bolts. It's going to be an interesting game. Mexico City Aztecs take on a division rival in the Barton Bruisers. The Atlanta Phoenix take on a division rival in the DC Knights. And the Empire State Sentinels will play the Florida Firecats. So, with that being the case, let's go into my predictions for how I think these matchups will go. Judging how history repeats itself, and I believe that unless you take the precautions, history is destined to repeat itself. I'm going to go with the upset here. I think the Warriors, once again, sneak away with a win and send the Saxon Sunbirds home once again. Sunbirds, past few seasons I've been here and you've had the 1 seed in the playoffs, you're 0-2. And I feel like you've been too cocky. In fact, you're boasting your undefeated regular season record in the past 2 seasons. I feel like that's going to bite you. You're going to get overconfident taking on the Warriors here tonight, and history will repeat itself. Roblox Warriors take the win, move on to the divisional round. Berkshire Rattlers versus Milliken Rams. This is an interesting matchup, to say the least. But I think I'm going to go a little crazy with this one. I think the Rams sneak away with a win once again. Rams are definitely closer to the Rattlers level than compared to the Sunbirds and Warriors. But I think the Rams are able to just beat the Rattlers. They sneak by, but they're able to move on to the next round. Aztecs versus Bruisers. I think the Aztecs get the win here, and they move on to the next round. And, we already know, so this is what your Western Conference bracket will look like in the divisional round for me. It will be the Aztecs versus Warriors, and then Rams versus Raiders. Because the Raiders already beat the Sky Kings. Can't really predict that matchup. So this is what my divisional round looks like. I think the Mexico City Aztecs defeat the Roblox Warriors. Their Cinderella story ends across the border in Mexico City. And I think the Rams, they keep up their momentum, and they beat the Red Cliff Raiders. I think it's very likely. I mean, the Raiders, they put up 80 points against the Sky Kings. But let me just quickly check something here. I mean, just because the Raiders have the win over the Rams, I think that gives the Rams more motivation and more fight for this game. And I think they sneak away and they go by again and they win. And as for your conference championship, Aztecs Rams. Rams go. Rams are going Victory Bowl. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling the Rams are going to the Victory Bowl this season. Not sure or why I've got this feeling. But that's what I'm feeling it. Milliken Rams going back to a victory bowl for the first time in God knows how long. Let me just check my victory bowl sheet I made. And we'll move on to the Eastern Conference in just a second. So, this sheet obviously does get updated at the end of every victory bowl. So Milliken Rams have not been to a victory bowl since Victory Bowl 11. And I think that draft's got to come to an end at some point. I think this season might be either one they do it in. Their last Victory Bowl appearance was Victory Bowl 11. They lost that Victory Bowl. Their last Victory Bowl win was the one before that, Victory Bowl 10. They went on a streak in the early days of OFL. They went to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. They were in all of those. They are 4-2 in Victory Bowls. And I think they make one in the modern era. I think this is the one they make it in. They're able to sneak past some teams, and they make it all the way to Oklahoma City to play in Victory Bowl 37. Now for the Eastern Conference. I think the Dreads and Dragons, they'll get their win. As for tonight's matchup, Atlanta versus DC, I think DC will get the win and move on to the next round. And as for Sentinels versus Firecats, I think I think the Firecats keep their hopes for back-to-back victory bowls alive and sneak to the next round. So your next round of playoffs will look like this: Punishers, Firecats, and Dragons versus Knights. I think that's right. Yeah, should be right. So as for that, I think I've got the Punishers. I mean, they are just looking like the juggernaut of the East. They're going to the conference championship and crush the dreams of back-to-back victory bowls for the Florida Firecats. As for the Knights versus Dragons, I think the Dragons win it. We get our 1 versus 2 seed, Dreads and Dragons, Pemberley Punishers. And as for the conference championship, Pemberley Punishers win it. So that is my victory bowl prediction for the season. Do I crab curse for how many times in a row? I've done it like every season. I just can't remember how many times I'm on it at this point. I've lost count. Somebody's got to take count of that. So yeah, that is Victory Bowl 37. Victory Bowl 37 prediction from me, the Cowboy Crab. Pemberley Punishers, Milliken Rams, and Oklahoma City. Is that a hot take? Probably, considering one is a 1 seed, the other's a 5 seed. But you know what? Somebody's Victory Bowl draft's gonna end soon. Those two teams just so happen to have the longest. Milliken Rams, it's been 25 seasons. Pemberley Punishers, it's been 21 seasons. Punishers are undefeated in Victory Bowl, so if I had to give a prediction for who I think would win, I think it's Pemberley Punishers. They played in the first one, they played in the 12th one and the 15th Victory Bowl. And I think they go 0-4 and end their Victory Bowl drought and bring another Victory Bowl title back to Pemberley. But that's all just my predictions and my opinions on it. You disagree? You probably will. Tell me somewhere. I don't care. Tell me what you disagree. I don't know. I don't care. Just yeah, that's kind of my season 37 prediction Victory Bowl. Punishers, Rams, and Oklahoma City. And Punishers will win it. This will probably age poorly very soon, because that's just my kind of luck. But anyways, folks, that is where we'll end this episode of The Rundown. Representing Team Ocean, I'm the Cowboy Crab, saying so long, everybody.